need some time.
Okay, I have David next.
Hello? Hello. I'm from the Action Committee.
I'm from the Action Committee.
We meet Sundays.
We meet Sundays.
Thursdays.
And Thursdays.
At 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock.
At Boise.
At Boise.
So next week.
There
is a march. It starts at 3 p.m. And it is shut down. Criminal bill. C-10. March to the Don Jail. This is not just an occupation march. It's a coalition march. Now, after that march, at Nathan Phillips Square, we have Night for Human Rights. It's a candlelight vigil. And we're having a funeral for democracy and human rights. So this will be after the march. Also, the following week, I believe that we are going to feed the poor at St. James Park at 1 o'clock. I love you all.
I have a question.
There's one clarification.
Okay, point of clarification.
Where does the march begin?
The one you just mentioned.
Still
St.
C-10.
James.
The march begins at St. James Park at 3 p.m. Next Saturday.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have Tyler next.
Forgive me, Brian.
Real quick. I just wanted to mention there's 2 bags at the front. Clothes, mittens, jackets. And Ben.
Hi, guys. There was an occupied UMC meeting. This last Thursday. At 5. We had amazing turnout. But we're going slow. Which is a good thing. It's going to make us better. If you want to join the conversation, we're meeting at 5 on Thursday in the new college building. On the southeast corner of Spadina and Wilcox.
Okay, now I have Ryan.
Ryan.
Hello. An Occupy Animal Rights Committee. Looking like the first meeting will be at St. James Casino on Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
If you're interested or have any further questions, please see me after the assembly to get on the meeting.
Okay, next I have Honey Novik.
Tuesday, December the 6th, is Canada's National Day of Remembrance against the violence for women, against women. Sorry. Oh, Tuesday, December the 6th. Canada's National Day of Remembrance. Ellington's Music and Cafe is hosting a poetry and music event with 14 women and girls. 805 St. Clair West. Wheelchair accessible. Free admission. 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Josh.
Hey, I'm Josh.
Some of you may know that there is a smaller splinter group at St. James Park. I see some faces and some frowns, and I am also frowning. This doesn't mean that I am opposed to these people. It means that I want to welcome them back. The problem is a lack of communication, a lack of understanding, a lack of willingness to come together. I have taken it upon myself to try to fix this. I've talked to some people, some may call hijackers. I'm not sure what to call them. I know that we can move forward if we're willing to forget these things. There's some problems with finance, but I believe that they can be easily resolved. I'm not sure if it's the time to do it now, or people would like to talk about this later. But as far as I understand, it comes down to semantics. Instead of saying let's close this account, how about let's reorganize this account? Someone has taken it upon themselves to do something that this movement obviously needed. Although it may have been done wrong. If we can all come together and decide to make the proper changes, maybe everyone will be happy. That's all.
Four announcements. First one, Deputations Committee. As you may know, they're about to pass a really bad budget down south. As in at City Hall. They like to cut our deputations short. So I'm saying we should combine forces. Put our time together. And read sequentially a statement. That addresses all of our concerns. I don't have very much time to work on this. So my proposal is as follows. If you want to get involved in this, write what you are concerned about. I'm going to be trying to connect all the emails through my email address. Occupy, Misha, @gmail.com. And collectively we can put together a statement. Eliminate redundancies. And then register to defute in order. So that way we give one big ass-kicking. My apologies for the. We give one big awesome deputation. Announcement number two. Occupy Transit. Tomorrow. 3 p.m. St. George Station. Starting at the westbound platform. Let's have a general assembly about what's wrong with transit. Please be there. So we can do an awesome mic check. Involve lots of people. And export our process. Clarification. Which direction? Westbound. To begin. Who knows where we're going next? St. George Station. 3 p.m. Westbound platform. I'd love love strains because they lead.
I love strains because they lead.
We have a chronic lateness problem in our population. There will also be Occupy Transit events.
We will also be Occupy Transit events.
On Tuesday, potentially.
On Tuesday, potentially.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Before the Occupy Transit event in the evening.
Before the Occupy Transit event in the evening.
Which is happening at Metro Hall.
Which is happening at Metro Hall.
And I just got wind of something happening maybe on Friday.
And I just got wind of something happening maybe on Friday.
But let's start tomorrow, 3 p.m. St. George Station.
Let's start tomorrow, 3 p.m. St. George Station.
Occupy Holiday.
Occupy Holiday.
There was a meeting today.
There was a meeting today.
It was lots of fun.
It was lots of fun.
We're going to start occupying malls.
We're going to start occupying malls.
And all sorts of other things that I think the Reverend will be very happy with. Point check.
Point check.
The last announcement.
The last announcement.
Sorry, clarification.
Clarification.
If you want to get involved with Occupy Holidays,
If you want to get involved with Occupy Holidays,
you can email the address that was already given.
you can email the address that was already given.
Occupy.
Occupy.
MISCHA. @gmail.com. I'm not coordinating that one.
I'm not coordinating that one.
But I can't remember the email of the woman who is.
But I can't remember the email of the woman who is.
The last announcement
The last announcement
is with regards to finance.
is with regards to finance.
We decided last night at the General Assembly
We decided last night at the General Assembly
to close the account that is currently called Occupy Toronto
to close the account that is currently called Occupy Toronto
because it was opened as a project of another organization. And while we are very grateful to that organization for trying to do something to extend their status of not-for-profit due to overwhelming concerns about how those two organizations would interact, it was made clear that the best way forward and to heal our movement is to simply close that account and proceed with the plan that the Finance Committee had put forward that was prevented from happening due to the existence of this account. This was decided last night by the General Assembly and hopefully will be enacted tomorrow morning. Because credit unions aren't open on the weekends. Clarification. How is the situation with Claudia and her cooperation? And does it matter? I don't know. We decided that we would go with the General Assembly decision from yesterday. I'm assuming we're still going on that. That point of process? This is an announcement from yesterday, but duly noted. That's the problem with making an announcement and point of information. Like I said earlier,
I made some steps to try to bring together. Claudia and everyone else.
Point of process.
Point of process, these are announcements. It's not a general discussion or a general assembly.
Okay.
We have one more person on the list.
So that's the end of my announcements. Sorry they were long.
Okay. The next person on the list is Reverend Billy.
Reverend Billy.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Reverend Billy.
I'm Reverend Billy.
So honored to be here. From Occupy Wall Street. Our plan is to visit 9 Occupy communities. In 9 days. Live streaming. As back to global revolution.
Back to global revolution.
And out to the 2,600 occupied communities.
And out to 2,600 occupied communities.
And who knows how many of us.
And who knows how many of us.
Trying to make that magic.
Trying to make that magic.
Feels so good to be here. Thank you.
Feels so good to be here.
Adam. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Mike, check. We have a wish list. We need chalkboard 2 feet by 1 feet. 24 double lanes each. Paper. Flashlights. The mission we decided to shoot at is going to be in Kingsville Square. In the evening. Small businesses. People working on the street. The question we're going to ask them.
Explain what the basis of Occupy is.
Oh, sorry. It's a marketing campaign. We talked about LGAs.
It's a marketing campaign. We talked about LGAs.
We're taking pictures.
Taking pictures.
Of occupiers.
Occupiers.
We're holding a chalkboard.
Holding a chalkboard.
We made it into a poster.
Made into a poster.
We're going to post these posters.
Post these posters.
All over the GTA.
All over the GTA.
Also, I forgot. Violent Act is put on a list. And when that person is attending GAs, make note of it. And at that point, we all sit down and shush. Giving that person the silent treatment. Until they either leave or wish to mediate themselves or apologize, or however we decide to do that. I do not ever want to see an occupier get kicked out of this Occupy. I want us to care about occupiers and fix the problems. Health is very important. Our current system has caused much sickness. And we can fix this.
Been on many lists from the 60s, I do not see a list being proactive. I do understand the need for censure. But the list is not censure.
Yeah, I just agree. I think it's a terrible proposal. As far as dealing with safety and security, I think...
Sure, as far as dealing with safety and security, I think we should defer to our marshals. Who served us so well in St. James Park. Who put themselves in the line of fire. Night after night, and day after day. Somebody like Trey, somebody like Masawi, somebody like Jordan are really the people who should drive this kind of proposal. With all due respect to Adam, I think the marshals would be the best place, and that would be their committee.
Mike Jack. I also have a blog. I have a blog on being put on a list. And I also have a blog on even though somebody's being violent, I don't think we should kick them out of the GA. Everybody should be a part of the GA. Like if they're being violent, just have them like removed from the big group.
Mike Jack. And you have to run.
Okay. I blog having people kicked out of the GA just for the fact that even though they're being violent, they should still like. Sorry, a lot of people. Stage right. Okay. I blog. The fact to block people out. The GA. If somebody's being violent. After the marshals. Move them. They can still hear and take part of the GA. But just not be violent anymore. I don't know, that's just my take on it.
I don't know, that's my take on it.
Michael?
The problem I have with it is that the last part of the proposal becomes kind of vague as to what we would actually do. It ends up sounding like we're just going to do something. That sort of gives too much power to just do something. I I agree that maybe there's some specific thing we should do.
I agree that there's some specific thing we should do.
But the proposal should be specific to that. And not just a sort of open-ended list of different things to try. And I agree that the most important thing to do is to physically contain the violence. And although we can sort of trust marshals to do that, I wouldn't say that it's that they have some special power in that regard. It's just that they would probably be able to do it. But it's not to make them the exclusive source of that action.
So the next person for this proposal, actually, I have Ryan. I had Ryan next. I hold this.
Just a point of information. That we do have a zero tolerance policy in place. And anyone who has access to that, it would be great if we could dig it out. And write it up nice and big to have at our GAs.
Is there anybody who can take this on? What on? Digging out the policy of zero tolerance and making it big. So that everybody can see it at the General Assembly. Yeah. Ryan, thank you.
Okay, so next I have Matt.
It seems to me we have a married couple. We're fighting. The silent treatment would not help make anything better. Dialogue would help. I think that's what we should be doing.
Okay, Sean.
I'd like to speak to someone who, I was at a meeting where someone pulled out a knife. They tried to intimidate me. And I'm a bit sick and tired. Of this movement turning a blind eye. To violence and assault. And we have to take action. And I would urge that people should press charges on violators of violence. I encourage us to continue this discussion, but resolve it as soon as possible, and we have to take serious action now.
We are undergoing a process.
Trying to work out the details of mediation process. May be able to work out some of the disputes that are happening.
Okay, so next I have Tyler.
I just wanted to say, although I don't agree with violence, sometimes you have to defend yourself. I would hate to be shunned for having to defend myself. If there was no other option.
As many of you know, I'm an advocate for clear and concise proposals. Well articulated. With an action plan. And decisions. About who will implement. Such action plans. It seems to me
individual in the back.
That there's an individual in the back
Who wants to be part of that discussion.
who wants to be a part of that discussion.
There's also a suggestion.
There's also a suggestion
that members of the marshalling team.
that members of the marshalling team
should also be a part of that discussion.
should also be a part of that discussion.
It also seems.
that
there's a mediation process group.
That there's a mediation process group
who's also working on that discussion.
who's also working on that discussion.
May I propose.
Those
three parties.
Have
that discussion.
Come
back to this General Assembly.
With a clear and concise.
An articulated action plan.
For
if we talk.
All night long.
I
highly feel.
We might not end up anywhere.
So,
I beg these parties.
Consider a discussion.
Before this conversation. In the General Assembly.
Continues.
Mic check. That seems like a reasonable proposal. Is that amiable to the proposer? Yes. So the discussion will be tabled to a working group who composed of the three parties Brian mentioned. And anybody else who wants to engage in that discussion. Can you be the point person for that, Adam?
Sure. This starts immediately. Like right now.
Outside?
Yeah, outside.
Awesome. That will be happening outside right now? Okay.
Also.
Also.
Hey, Sunny.
Hi,
Sunny. I'm sorry it's out there. But I just don't feel comfortable in these places. And it's just my comfort.
Mic check.
I'm sorry. But I sat up there. I don't feel comfortable in churches.
I don't feel comfortable in churches.
It was because I was trying to get as far away as possible. And I really look forward to you getting more yoga and meditation stuff going too.
Yoga and meditation.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to let you all know.
Myself and a group of other artists
Are proposing to occupy change rooms.
The action would be as follows. Anyone that's interested can make stickers, signs, or other logos that have to do with personal questions that you might want to ask the general public. The questions should be specific to the questions we're asking ourselves at Occupy Toronto. Questions we're asking about ourselves, our society, and the way we want things to run. We're choosing change rooms in malls and other shopping centers. Because it is a unique space. That is both private. And yet exists in a public space. Everybody is free to do this on their own. Or come talk to me about organizing yourself with us. Us being the group of artists. I wanted to present this to the group. To make sure I have consensus from the General Assembly. That this is an okay thing to go through with on our behalf. Great. Thank you.
I'm not going to waste time. But I need to talk to you. Outside. Right now.
Right now.
La la. You guys just pull that up. Hello.
Yeah, but I don't think this should happen during the GA.
It's okay if people want to leave the GA and have another discussion and then bring it back to the GA another day. Then that's fine. They don't need to be in the GA if they don't want to.
We got to work out what they're looking
at. Mic check.
We have another proposal.
From Jeff. Hi, GA. Hi, GA. To facilitate discussion better. Could we have the speaker? Speak somewhere closer to the middle. So that everybody can hear. That's my first proposal. My second proposal is that tomorrow we have a GA. At 7 p.m. at Nathan Phillips Square. To help with the auditory problems, I propose that we shift the GA from outside right in front of Nathan Phillips Square to a quieter, sound-friendlier meeting spot just west of Nathan Phillips Square, where the court circle thingy is. If no one knows what I'm talking about, does anybody know what I'm talking about?
It's in between Ontario. Mic check.
Mic check.
It's in between the Ontario Law Society and the Ontario Court of Justice. And there is a vestibule that connects the two. Under that vestibule, there's protection from the elements. And it carries sounds very nicely, much like a cathedral. Or a
Open
chapel.
the proposal to friendly amendments, blocks, or clarifying questions.
Directly west of our usual.
I would like to suggest at least one person in the old place to redirect people.
Consensus on this? Any other blocks? Friendly amendments? No? Alright.
Does everyone know where it is?
We'll have one person in front of Nathan Phillips Square telling them where.
We can say 361 University and we'll bring you closer.
What concern?
Jeff, open your ears.
I had a block, a concern. Sure. That. Yes, I can. For the last night's GA, it was brought up. Very loud. With the consensus of the people that were there. That we would not shift GAs from that spot. That's my concern.
Point of clarification. That proposal and that agreement included the clause, if you want to call it, that if at a GA a proposal was made and it was consented upon, the GA can move.
Such as what we're doing right now.
And like tonight.
Cheers.
Just for clarification, you have consensus on moving the GA? All those for? Any blocks? Anyone step forward? Anyone disagree? Yeah. Got it.
then you cannot strain your neck.
Okay, I have several proposals. I'll try to keep it short. First one concerns donation collection. And different outreach projects. I'd like to suggest that a precedent has been set whereby if you sell art on our international website, okay, I can speak louder. Is this sufficient? The precedent has been set whereby if you sell art on our website, that is the Occupy website, with international access to sympathetic buyers, 50% of the sale goes to be decided upon by the GA. And 50% of the sale goes to the artist who made the work. I would like to make a proposal whereby we extend this 50-50 outreach agreement to anyone who's doing non-violent outreach work. Such as our different kind kitchens, free stores, free schools, homelessness outreach, whereby we give out blankets and warm clothing. If we can get consensus on this, we can solve the problem of not having a park and a central donation box. I'd like to suggest that this 50-50 split be put to the media, be well advertised at sites of collection, exactly how the 50% that's not going to the GA would be used. That way the public can decide which of our outreach committees they'd like to donate to. I'd like to get a consensus on this, and then, if possible, and then make another proposal about the same topic.
I have a friendly amendment. Which is that if you want to engage in activities of an artistic or outreach nature, which involve fundraising, then you can say, we are doing this, and we will be giving half of our profits to Occupy Toronto, which is different from saying, we are Occupy Toronto.
We are Occupy Toronto. Can I answer that? Okay. Committing to a donation of 50% profit is also different from committing to donate 50% of everything you collect. I recommend we be very clear at the point of donation collection. Exactly how it's all to be used. And I recommend that we use a transparent accounting system with receipts and proper accountants as much as possible, especially for the larger outreach operations. But I suggest we do all of this 50-50 on an honor system because I don't expect a homeless person to provide receipts for the 50% he used to buy himself dinner. This is now brought up my second proposal. Which is if it's clearly advertised that you're intending to do this. We could do something that's modeled after a Mongol style. Such as a 90% to the collection agent. And a 10%, like 10% would have been given to your cons.
And 10%, like as in 10% would have been given to your con.
Or the movement. If we have a 90-10 split, we instantly have a way for a homeless or an unemployed person to provide himself with a living wage, to do outreach work of their choice, and still be at least connected with the movement of Occupy. If we could vote separately for consensus, or move on towards further discussion, or commit to discussion at outbreak movement, I would be able to stop talking. There were a couple of points of addition.
I have two concerns.
The first one. We're going to be getting all sorts of donations of different amounts from people who can give different amounts. Which is why I'd like to do this on a honor system.